Have you ever reached a moment in your life where you suddenly realized that even the people you love the most can't always be there for you? It's not because they don't care. It's simply because life pulls everyone in different directions. Children get caught up in their own households. Friends move away, and even siblings begin dealing with their own health issues. Many seniors tell me the same thing. "Doctor, I never thought I'd feel this alone." And I completely understand. That feeling is real, and it can be heavy. But here's what I always remind them. Feeling alone doesn't mean you are powerless. In fact, some of the most peaceful, healthy, and truly fulfilled people I've ever met in their 70s and 80s are the ones who stopped relying on others and started building their own inner foundations. What I want to talk to you about today are 10 powerful things you can rely on that have nothing to do with family or friends. These are not complicated ideas, and they don't require a perfect life to start using them. They're simple, practical, and incredibly effective at helping you feel grounded, happy, and in control, even on the days when no one else is around. Let me begin with something most people overlook: curiosity. You might not think of curiosity as a form of support, but it absolutely is. The mind thrives when it continues to explore, ask questions, and discover something new. I've seen too many seniors fall into a quiet sadness simply because they stopped being curious. They stopped wondering about new music, stopped learning new recipes, stopped asking, "How does this work?" The problem with that is not just boredom, it's stagnation. The brain begins to slow down, and over time, so does the spirit. But when you introduce even a little curiosity back into your daily life, everything changes. Watching a short documentary about a place you've never visited, reading a new type of book, trying a different route during your morning walk, it wakes you up from the inside. And what's wonderful is that you don't need anyone's permission or participation to do it. Curiosity is something you can spark all by yourself, and it creates a quiet sense of purpose that makes each day feel meaningful again. Right alongside curiosity comes something equally important: self-expression. As a doctor, I can tell you that one of the fastest ways seniors lose their joy is by holding everything inside. Years of opinions, ideas, and feelings get locked away because they don't want to bother anyone. But here's the truth: expressing yourself is not a burden. It's a release. It keeps the heart open and the mind clear. It doesn't have to be a speech in front of an audience. It could be writing down your thoughts in a small notebook every night, humming a melody you invented while making tea, or even talking to yourself as you cook. These little moments of expression are like small windows that let fresh air into your soul. They remind you that your inner world still matters, even if no one asks about it. When you express yourself regularly, you're not leaning on someone else to understand you. You're giving yourself that understanding first. Now, let's talk about adaptability, which is not the same as endurance. Endurance means you keep going even when something hurts. Adaptability means you're willing to change how you do things, so that it no longer hurts you. Too many seniors try to push through life the way they did 20 or 30 years ago, and they become frustrated when it doesn't work anymore. The secret is not to force the old ways, it's to create new ones. Maybe climbing stairs used to be easy, but now your knees complain. Adaptability says, "All right, let's rearrange the house so I don't have to climb as often." Maybe you used to read physical books, but the small text strains your eyes. Adaptability says, "Let me switch to audiobooks, so I can still enjoy stories without the strain." This willingness to adapt is not weakness, it's wisdom. It means you're not letting change defeat you. You're meeting change with creativity and protecting your quality of life in the process. There's also something incredibly powerful about daily solitude, and I want to be very clear here. Solitude is not the same as loneliness. Loneliness is the painful feeling that no one is around when you need them. Solitude is the peaceful acceptance that your own company can be enough. When you approach solitude intentionally, for example, setting aside time each morning to sit quietly with your coffee, take a slow walk with no phone, or simply breathe and listen to the sounds of the morning, you develop an inner calm that no one can disturb. I've seen people transform simply by learning how to enjoy their own presence. Their mood improves, their blood pressure lowers, their overall stress drops, because instead of waiting for someone else to fill the silence, they find comfort in it. This brings me to what may be one of the most underestimated forms of self-support: purpose-driven action. Purpose isn't always a grand mission or a lifelong dream. It can be as simple as watering a small plant every day and feeling good when you see it grow. It can be cooking a healthy meal and knowing you're nourishing your body. The problem is, when people lose contact with family or friends, they often stop doing little meaningful things because they feel like no one will notice. But you notice, and that's enough. Purpose-driven action gives your day structure. It tells your brain, this matters, and I'm still contributing to life. That sense of contribution, even in small moments, builds confidence and keeps you connected to the world. Now, once you begin nurturing curiosity, self-expression, adaptability, daily solitude, and purpose-driven action, something interesting starts to happen. You begin to feel lighter. You stop waiting for others to make your day better, and instead, you wake up with the quiet confidence that you can shape it yourself. And that's the beautiful part of aging that most people never talk about. You're not losing control. You're gaining the freedom to design your days exactly the way you want them. And once that realization settles in, it naturally opens the door to something incredibly powerful: self-discipline. Most people think discipline is harsh or restrictive, but for seniors, it's actually a form of support. When you set small commitments and stick to them, like getting up at the same time every morning, finishing a book you started, or limiting how much news you watch, you give yourself a structure that makes life feel manageable again. Discipline is like a gentle hand on your back, reminding you, you still run this life. You don't need anyone else to tell you what to do. You're fully capable of guiding yourself, and once you start acting that way, the days suddenly feel more stable and less chaotic. That leads us to something very close to my heart: lifelong creativity. You don't have to paint a masterpiece or write a novel. Creativity is simply allowing yourself to take ordinary things and do them in a slightly different way. Maybe you experiment with new spices while cooking dinner. Maybe you rearrange the photos on your wall. Maybe you take up an inexpensive craft like sketching or knitting, even if you don't show the result to anyone. Those tiny acts of creativity remind your brain that you still have new things to offer the world. It keeps you from slipping into the belief that your productive years are behind you. In reality, some of the most brilliant creative moments happen after 60. Once you finally have the time and freedom to explore them, and when those ideas begin to flow, they light a spark inside you that no one else can extinguish. Another source of strength that many people overlook is mental challenge. It's easy to fall into comfortable routines, and yes, comfort is important, but if everything becomes too comfortable, your mind begins to slow down. So challenge it. Learn how to use a new app on your phone. Try a puzzle game you've never played before. Read about a topic you never cared for in your younger years. Believe me, your brain still has an incredible capacity to grow, even at 70, 80, or 90. When you stretch it, even just a little, it rewards you with sharper memory, quicker thinking, and a stronger sense of self-confidence. And once again, you don't need anyone to do that for you. It's something you offer to yourself, and the payoff is extraordinary. Now, let's talk about something I believe every senior deserves: mindful enjoyment. Far too often, people rush through their days without really feeling anything. But when you start to slow down and enjoy life's small pleasures, the taste of your tea, the way the sunlight warms your window, the sound of birds early in the morning, you begin to create a steady source of happiness that doesn't depend on other people's presence. You become more present, more peaceful. And the best part is, those moments of mindful enjoyment train your nervous system to stay calm. Even when unexpected challenges appear, you're no longer chasing joy, you're cultivating it. And finally, let me leave you with what I believe might be the most powerful source of support in later life: self-compassion. Many older adults are incredibly hard on themselves. They replay past mistakes, criticize themselves for slowing down, and feel guilty for needing rest. But what if, instead of judging yourself, you began to treat yourself the way you would treat a dear friend? What if you gently reminded yourself that you've survived decades of challenges and that you deserve kindness, patience, and forgiveness? That simple shift in attitude changes everything. Because when you look in the mirror and meet yourself with compassion, you stop relying on approval from others. You stop waiting for someone else to comfort you. You learn how to comfort yourself, and in that moment, you become unshakable. You might still feel lonely sometimes. That's human, but you'll never feel lost, because you've built a safe place inside your own heart. And once that self-compassion starts to grow, something beautiful happens. You begin to move through your day with a steadier heart. Small inconveniences don't shake you the way they used to. Moments of silence no longer feel empty. They feel peaceful. You wake up in the morning not wondering who might call, but wondering what meaningful moment you can create for yourself. That's the kind of independence most people spend their entire lives searching for. And the truth is, it's available to you right now, at this very stage of life. Of course, none of these habits become strong overnight. They grow through gentle repetition. You might start by taking 5 minutes in the morning to simply sit in stillness and enjoy the quiet. Or by trying one new thing you've never done before and reminding yourself that your brain is still capable of learning and growing. What matters most is that you keep moving forward with intention. Every day becomes another opportunity to build on the foundation you've already started. And yes, there will be days when it feels harder, when your body aches or your motivation dips. And that's okay. Those moments don't take anything away from you. If anything, they remind you that you're still alive, still changing, still becoming. The most important thing I want you to remember is that relying on yourself doesn't mean doing everything alone. It simply means becoming your own strongest source of peace. It means discovering that your curiosity still has room to grow. Your creative spark still flickers. Your adaptability still protects you, and your purpose still carries you forward. It means honoring your need for solitude, challenging your mind, nurturing your body, and nourishing your spirit with kindness instead of criticism. And if you ever start to doubt your strength, just take a slow, deep breath and remind yourself of one simple truth. You've already made it through every difficult day of your life so far. No one gave you a manual. No one handed you a perfect set of instructions. And yet, here you are, still standing, still learning, and still capable of creating joy. That is not weakness. That is power. So be gentle with yourself. Move at your own pace. And keep showing up. Not because someone else is watching, but because you are watching. You deserve a life that feels peaceful, meaningful, and full of quiet pride. And it's absolutely possible, no matter your age. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If any part of this message spoke to you, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. I truly enjoy hearing from you. And if you'd like more videos like this, you're always welcome to subscribe. I'd be honored to keep you company. Here's to living the rest of your life on your own terms. .com, confident and beautifully independent.